Get obsessed with the work, not the results. Most people spend their lives chasing outcomes, but few ever master the discipline of showing up when no one's watching. We live in a world where everyone celebrates results, but almost no one honors the process that produces them. The truth is, results are just the harvest, but the harvest only comes to those who stay faithful in the field. You can't expect fruit if you never fall in love with the soil. You can't expect progress if you keep judging yourself by outcomes that haven't shown up yet. Your job is not to manipulate results. Your job is to be obedient to the assignment. The moment you start chasing applause, you lose alignment. The moment you start comparing your progress to someone else's, you lose focus on your own process. Real success begins when you say, I'm going to show up no matter what I see. I'm going to stay consistent even if nothing changes, because the blessing isn't in the outcome, it's in your obedience. See, the process is where power is produced. The waiting season is not wasted time, it's preparation time. Every moment you stay consistent, every day you choose faith over frustration, you're building something eternal inside of you. The world measures success by what you have, but heaven measures success by what you become. And the only way to become who you're called to be is to fall in love with the process that refines you. When you get obsessed with the work, the results have no choice but to follow. But when you get obsessed with the results, you'll lose the joy of the work. You'll start questioning your worth, doubting your purpose, and walking away from the very thing that was designed to make you great. Don't chase the end, master the middle, because the middle is where most people quit, but it's also where transformation happens. The process is God's classroom, and every trial, every test, every delay is teaching you how to operate in your next level. Faithfulness always precedes fruitfulness. The fruit grows naturally when the root is healthy. That's why your focus must stay on your roots, your habits, your attitude, your faith. Stop trying to predict the season when your fruit will show up. Just keep watering what's in front of you. When you stay faithful to your purpose, you'll produce without pressure. You'll grow without forcing it. Results don't come to those who rush, they come to those who remain. And understand this, results are often delayed, not denied. The delay is not a punishment, it's preparation. There's a reason some blessings take time. You're being developed in private for what you'll handle in public. If the results showed up before your character was ready, they'd crush you. So when the results seem slow, remember, you're being strengthened, not stalled. Every delay has direction. Every test is teaching you trust. Character must come before compensation. The work doesn't just build what you do, it builds who you are. Every struggle, every setback, every sleepless night in the grind is developing a deeper version of you. And when the money comes, when the recognition comes, when the platform grows, it won't change you. It will only reveal what the process already built inside of you. If you can't handle obscurity, you won't survive success. That's why God hides you in the work before he reveals you in the results. So don't do the work for validation, do it because it's your calling. Purpose-driven people don't need permission to show up. They show up because they know it's part of their assignment. The moment you fall in love with your purpose, your performance changes. You stop competing and start creating. You stop chasing outcomes and start producing impact. You stop worrying about who's watching and focus on the one who sent you. The work is sacred. It's not just about building something external, it's about transforming something internal. Every time you show up with excellence, even when no one applauds, you're telling heaven that you can be trusted with more. Don't get weary in well-doing. Don't stop because you can't see the results yet. Keep your eyes on the mission, not the metrics. The reward will come, but it will only come when you've proven you can handle the responsibility that comes with it. So today, make a decision. Get obsessed with the work. Get obsessed with improving your craft, developing your discipline, growing your mindset, and deepening your faith. Don't let your emotions dictate your effort. Don't let results define your worth. Every moment you give your best, even in silence, even in struggle, even in seasons where it feels like no progress is happening, you are winning. The secret is simple but powerful. Work like it's up to you and believe like it's up to God. Because when you give your all to the process, Heaven takes care of the outcome. You'll reach a point where you realize that success isn't what you achieve, it's who you become through the journey. When you master the work, you'll no longer chase results. Results will start chasing you. Obedience over outcome, that's where everything truly begins. Most people want to control the outcome, but they neglect the one thing that actually determines it: obedience. The outcome isn't your responsibility. The obedience is. The results are in God's hands, but the response is in yours. Every time you move in obedience, when you do what you're called to do, even when it doesn't make sense, even when you don't see the evidence, you're planting seeds that guarantee a harvest. See, results are not proof of faith. Obedience is. You can't say you believe and then refuse to act. Real belief moves you to work, to serve, to build, to show up when it's hard. Obedience means you trust the process even when the promise feels far away. It means you keep showing up when others have stopped. It means you keep sowing when you haven't seen anything grow. Because obedience isn't about convenience, it's about commitment. Sometimes obedience will make you look crazy. You'll be building when everyone else is relaxing. You'll be working when others are waiting for a sign. But understand this: obedience will take you places that hustle never could. The world rewards effort, but heaven rewards obedience. When you obey, doors open that your talent couldn't force open. Favor flows where obedience goes. The truth is, results can deceive you. They can make you think you're successful when you're off assignment, or make you feel like you're failing when you're exactly where you need to be. That's why you can't measure your life by outcomes. You measure it by obedience, because when you're obedient, even your failures become lessons, and even your delays become divine direction. There's power in doing what's right before it feels rewarding. You don't wait for the feeling to obey. You obey until the feeling follows. Every act of obedience builds something in your spirit: patience, strength, resilience, faith. It teaches you how to trust the unseen hand of God. You may not see the full picture now, but obedience paints it one stroke at a time. So stop worrying about what's happening outside of you and start focusing on what's happening within you. Results are temporary, but obedience creates transformation that lasts. Every great destiny is built on small, unseen acts of obedience. The miracle always comes after the instruction. Your job is to move. God's job is to manifest. And when you get that order right, you'll find peace in the process even before the promise shows up. The process produces power. Everyone wants the power, but few are willing to go through the process that creates it. Power doesn't come from wishing, hoping, or waiting. It comes from working. It's built in the moments when you show up tired but still give your best, when you feel unseen but stay committed, when you feel like quitting but choose to keep moving forward. That's where real strength is born. The process is not punishment. It's preparation. It's the training ground that develops your discipline, your patience, and your faith. You can't ask for a higher level of influence without being prepared to handle it. And the process is how you're prepared. The struggle you're facing right now isn't meant to break you. It's meant to build you. It's shaping your mindset, your habits, your capacity. Every challenge is developing spiritual muscles that comfort never could. We live in a culture obsessed with instant results: quick money, quick fame, quick success. But what comes fast doesn't last because it's not fortified by process. The process is what gives you roots. Without roots, you can't stand when the wind comes. Without process, your power won't sustain you when pressure increases. The process gives you something results never can: depth. You can't microwave greatness. You have to marinate in the process. Every season of waiting, every delay, every repetition, every lesson is adding something to your character. When you learn to value the process more than the prize, you begin to experience true growth. You stop asking, when will I get there? And start asking, what am I supposed to learn here? Because what you learn in the process is what prepares you to handle the promise. See, the process teaches you stewardship. It teaches you to handle little things well before you're trusted with big things. If you can't stay faithful in the small, you're not ready for the big. The process refines your motives. It tests your heart. It exposes your impatience and forces you to rely on something greater than yourself. And when you pass those tests, when you stay focused, when you stay consistent, when you keep doing the work, you come out with power. The power isn't just the ability to achieve, it's the strength to endure. It's the inner confidence that no matter what comes, you can handle it. That's what the process builds. Endurance, confidence, and unshakable belief. So don't run from it. Embrace it. Every step, every setback, every slow season is part of your preparation. The process is what transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary capacity. Stay in it long enough, and you'll realize the process didn't just produce power, it produced purpose. Faithfulness attracts fruitfulness. You can't expect a harvest from ground you don't consistently sow into. Faithfulness means showing up day after day, doing what needs to be done, even when it feels like nothing is happening. It's staying committed when it's not convenient, consistent when it's not comfortable, and confident when there's no visible confirmation. Fruitfulness isn't magic. It's the inevitable result of faithfulness. Everything valuable in life grows through consistency. A seed doesn't sprout overnight. It takes time, attention, and care. The same is true for your purpose, your business, your calling, and your growth. You can't pray for fruit and neglect the soil. You can't expect results if you keep uprooting what you planted every time it takes too long to grow. Faithfulness says, I will stay planted even when I don't see progress yet, because what's happening underground is just as important as what eventually grows above it. When you remain faithful, heaven notices. There's a law in life. Whatever you remain faithful to will begin to multiply. When you're faithful with your time, opportunities start opening. When you're faithful in your work, influence begins to expand. When you're faithful in your giving, resources start flowing. God doesn't reward talent, He rewards trust. He rewards those who can be trusted to show up with excellence no matter how small the stage, no matter how little the applause. Faithfulness is proof of maturity. It means you're driven by purpose, not by emotion. It means you've learned that doing what's right matters more than feeling inspired to do it. You don't need perfect conditions to stay consistent. You just need conviction. And conviction grows stronger each time you choose faith over feelings. That's why faithful people always rise. They may not rise fast, but they rise strong. Fruitfulness always follows faithfulness because God can't multiply what you won't maintain. If you're not consistent with the small, you won't have the character to sustain the big. That's why the process of staying faithful is so important. It develops the discipline to handle overflow. When you learn to honor the ordinary, you'll be trusted with the extraordinary. Sometimes faithfulness looks boring. It's doing the same thing, the right thing, over and over again. But behind the scenes, something is shifting. Every time you stay committed, you're building momentum in the invisible. Every act of faithfulness is a seed that guarantees a harvest. You may not see it today, but one day you'll look back and realize every unseen act of consistency was creating a visible manifestation of blessing. So don't chase fruit, nurture faithfulness. Keep showing up, keep serving, keep sowing. The results may take time, but they're coming because the law of faithfulness is unbreakable. When you keep doing what's right, the right things will eventually find you. Faithfulness is the soil and fruitfulness is the harvest. If you stay faithful to your purpose will stay fruitful for you. Results are delayed, not denied. Just because you haven't seen the outcome yet doesn't mean it's not coming. Some of the greatest things God will ever do in your life take time to manifest. The delay is not a denial. It's a divine setup. It's proof that something is still being prepared, refined, and aligned. And in that delay, your character is being shaped for the level of blessing that's on its way. Most people give up too soon because they confuse waiting with wasting. But what feels like waiting is actually working. The delay is not the absence of progress. It's the hidden stage of development. Just because you can't see movement doesn't mean nothing is happening. Seeds grow in silence before they ever break through the soil. The same is true for your dreams. You have to learn to trust what's taking shape beneath the surface. The delay tests your faith. It asks, will you still believe even when you don't see it yet? Anyone can believe when everything's visible, but real faith is proven in the unseen. The delay separates those who are emotionally motivated from those who are spiritually grounded. Because if you quit when it's quiet, you'll never see what happens when it starts moving. The delay is where endurance is built, where perspective matures, and where trust deepens. Sometimes God delays results not to punish you, but to protect you. He knows that premature success can destroy what patience would have developed. If the opportunity arrived before your maturity did, you'd mishandle it. If the blessing came before you were ready, you'd lose it. So God holds it back, not because you're unworthy, but because he's still preparing you for it. The waiting season is not rejection, it's refinement. When you start viewing delays as divine design, peace replaces frustration. You stop asking, why isn't it happening yet? And start saying, what is this teaching me? Because the delay is developing something in you that's more valuable than what's coming to you. Every slow season strengthens your patience, humbles your pride, and clarifies your purpose. It removes the distractions, the shortcuts, and the illusions that could have destroyed you at the next level. And here's the truth. Results always show up for those who stay ready. While others complain in delay, the faithful keep working, the disciplined keep sowing, the believers keep building. When the appointed time comes, it will look like an overnight success, but it's really the harvest of unseen consistency. The world will see the fruit, but only you and God will know the years of faith behind it. So if it's taken longer than you thought, don't lose heart. You're not being forgotten, you're being fortified. Delays are not denials, they're proof that your destiny is too important to be rushed. Keep doing the work, keep standing in faith, and keep trusting the process, because the day will come when everything you prayed for, worked for, and waited for will align perfectly. And when it does, you'll realize the delay didn't stop you. It strengthened you. Character before compensation. That's the foundation of lasting success. Too many people are chasing the paycheck before they've built the principles to sustain it. The truth is, if your character can't carry the weight of your blessing will crush you. Before life gives you more, it has to make you more. The process of developing character is what prepares you for compensation that doesn't just come, but stays. You don't get promoted in life because of what you want. You get promoted because of what you can handle. And what you can handle is determined by your integrity, your humility, and your discipline. Character is what you do when no one's watching. It's how you treat people who can't help you. It's the quiet choices you make in private that shape your destiny in public. You can fake success for a moment, but you can't fake character for a lifetime. Money reveals who you are. It doesn't change you. If you're greedy before you get it, you'll be reckless after you have it. If you're grateful before the reward, you'll be generous when it comes. That's why character must come first. The work you're doing right now, the discipline, the integrity, the patience, it's not just about building your skill set, it's about building your moral strength, because the size of your blessing will always match the strength of your foundation. Sometimes the process takes longer because God is building something deeper. You might think you're ready for more, but he knows your character still needs to be refined. So he allows certain tests to come, not to destroy you, but to develop you. Every trial exposes a weakness that needs strengthening. Every delay reveals whether you can remain faithful when the reward is far away. These are the moments that build your core. Character is not built in comfort. It's forged in the fire of frustration, in the heat of responsibility, in the pressure of doing right when wrong seems easier. It's in those moments that your true identity is shaped. If you can stay honest when lying would make you rich, if you can stay humble when you're overlooked, if you can stay diligent when no one recognizes your effort, that's when your character is being perfected. Compensation is coming, but it can't come before character. Because the goal is not just to make a living, it's to make a difference. Wealth without wisdom destroys. Success without stability collapses. But when you've got character, every reward becomes a tool for impact instead of a temptation for ego. You'll know how to manage it, multiply it, and use it to serve others. So don't get discouraged if your payday hasn't shown up yet. You're being paid in something greater right now. Growth, maturity, and strength. The money will come, the recognition will come, the opportunities will come, but when they do, you'll be the kind of person who can carry them well. Build your character first, and the compensation will always follow. Purpose over performance. That's the mindset of those who build something eternal. Too many people are obsessed with how things look instead of why they exist. They chase performance because they want to be seen, but they lose sight of purpose because they forget why they started. When you live for performance, you're driven by pressure. When you live for purpose, you're driven by passion. One burns you out, the other builds you up. Performance is about appearance, but purpose is about assignment. Performance says, look at me. Purpose says, I'm here to serve. When your motivation comes from wanting to be noticed, you'll only work as hard as the applause lasts. But when your motivation comes from purpose, you'll keep working even when no one claps, even when no one sees, even when no one believes in you yet. Purpose gives you endurance that performance never could. The truth is, performance is temporary. It's tied to emotion, validation, and circumstance. Purpose, though, purpose is eternal. It's the quiet conviction that keeps you moving when everything in you wants to stop. It's what makes you show up with excellence even when there's no audience. It's what reminds you that your work is bigger than a paycheck, bigger than a title, bigger than a platform. When you operate from purpose, you stop performing for approval and start producing from conviction. Purpose makes you authentic. It removes the mask that performance tries to put on you. When you're grounded in purpose, you no longer feel the need to compete, impress, or prove yourself. You become free to just be who you were created to be. And that freedom is what gives your work real power. People can sense authenticity. They can feel when your actions come from a place of purpose rather than performance. That's why the most impactful people aren't always the loudest. They're the most aligned. When you put purpose first, excellence becomes natural. You don't have to force it. It flows. You're not striving to prove your worth. You're expressing your calling. Every task, every responsibility, every act of service becomes sacred because you know it's connected to something bigger than yourself. You start treating your daily work like an act of worship, and that shift changes everything. Your effort gains meaning. Your work gains anointing. But when performance becomes the goal, frustration becomes the outcome. You start measuring your value by results, likes, or recognition. And that's a losing game, because no matter how high you climb, performance will always demand more. It will drain you, deplete you, and leave you empty. Purpose, on the other hand, fills you. It sustains you through the highs and lows. It reminds you that you're not here to impress people. You're here to impact lives. So check your motives. Are you performing to be seen, or are you walking in purpose to make a difference? When your why is rooted in meaning, your what will take care of itself. You won't need external validation because you'll already be anchored in internal conviction. And that's when your work truly becomes powerful, when it's not about applause, but about assignment. Purpose will always outlast performance. When the crowd stops clapping, purpose keeps you going. When the doors close, purpose keeps you building. When the stage disappears, purpose reminds you that your calling never depended on a spotlight. That's how you stay consistent, grounded, and fulfilled, by choosing purpose over performance every single time. The truth is simple but powerful. The moment you stop chasing results and start mastering obedience, everything changes. The process shapes you. Faithfulness strengthens you. Delays prepare you, and character protects you. When you learn to value purpose over performance, you step into a different rhythm of success, one that's not built on pressure but on peace, not on outcomes but on obedience. Every season, every struggle, every unseen effort is doing something in you that results never could. You're being molded into someone who can handle the blessing without losing your integrity, who can carry abundance without arrogance, and who can stay grounded even when elevation comes. That's what happens when you get obsessed with the work, not the reward. Because in the end, it's never about how fast you reach the destination. It's about who you become on the journey. The process is not keeping you from your promise. It's qualifying you for it. Keep your focus on what you can control, your effort, your excellence, your obedience, your faith. Let God handle the results. So show up every day with passion, work with purpose, stay faithful in the unseen, and trust that your season of harvest is on the way. When you commit to the work with the right heart, the results will come. And when they do, you'll realize they were never the goal. The goal was growth, transformation, and becoming the kind of person success can't shake. Get obsessed with the work, because that's where the real reward lives.